My voice is dying, but I'm gonna get through this. Hello, everybody. A while back, I started a series all about dialogue. We covered voice, tags, and formatting, and you guys have asked for more. So that's what we're doing today. I am breaking down the 10 best tips for writing angry dialogue. I'm talking about arguments, insults, clapbacks, fights, all that good stuff. Anything that falls into the realm of yelling or shouting. Anything that is supposed to hurt or burn. Some of you guys really suck at writing vitriol. You try so hard, but you fall so short. I'm here to fix that. And just a forewarning, the last tip is the trickiest to maneuver, so pay extra close attention. Before we dive in, a shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you've been following me for a while, then you already know I love Skillshare. It is an online learning platform specifically for creators that allows you to deepen your existing passions. It helps you learn and grow new skills. It helps you get lost in your creativity. They have classes in a variety of topics, including marketing, web design, painting, illustration, graphic design, and of course, creative writing. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, which means no ads. Plus, they are always launching new premium classes, which means you are always able to grow and learn new skills. I am both a student at Skillshare as well as a teacher. I have a new class on their platform all about how to self-publish your book from start to finish. It's a step-by-step guide to self-publishing the right way so you can tackle the process effectively. I've also got a couple of other classes all about digital marketing for writers, so you can learn how to grow your author platform like I grew mine, and how to plan an awesome book release. Whether you're looking to grow your craft or expand into new skills, Skillshare has you covered. That said, I've got a special Skillshare deal just for you. Stick around until the end of this video to find out more. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, and you totally want to be alerted, you absolutely do. All you have to do is ring that bell. Ring it. I'm watching you. I am watching you. And be sure to check out my #1 best-selling series. We've got The Savior's Champion and The Savior's Sister. They're available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now, so definitely check them out. I got them linked below. Now let's dive into my 10 best tips for writing angry, aggressive, argumentative dialogue. Number 1, understand the motivation. Think about the character delivering the verbal blows. Why are they doing this? If they're angry, why are they angry? Is it jealousy? Is it frustration? Is it betrayal? You need to understand where this reaction is coming from because it will dictate the type of dialogue they deliver. Say your character is fed up. They've been tolerating some bullshit for far too long and they finally snapped. A character who snaps is gonna be speaking completely differently than a character who is calm and collected, whose anger is simmering below the surface. A snap is typically curt and explosive, whereas a calm character may be cruel or calculated. They've had time to think about and craft exactly what they're going to say. This is why the motivation behind the argument is key. It gives you an idea of how to perfect their verbal blows. Number 2, know your characters, particularly their baggage. This is pivotal for writing dialogue of any kind, but it is especially the case when your characters are getting angry. People handle anger differently based on their personality, their experience, and most of all, their baggage. Some characters have trust issues. Their walls are up. Their defenses are on. If that's the case, they are less likely to show vulnerability in an argument. And they might pull moves that put them in an offensive position. That means they may deal out low blows or cutting criticism. Anything that keeps the other person at a distance. Sometimes fighting is triggering for a person, especially if they grew up in an explosive household. They may clam up in these situations. They may disassociate. They may go stone-faced, quiet, or numb. And of course, there are people who get very vulnerable in angry situations. Sometimes they ramble. Sometimes they cry. Dialogue will always depend on your character's background and personality, but in this case, baggage is especially important. Number 3, know your intention. This is when you need to take a step back from the characters and look at your plot. What is the intention behind this scene? What are you, the writer, trying to accomplish? Is this scene the character's breaking point? If that's the case, something needs to be said in this argument that breaks your character. Think about dialogue that cuts deep. That means tapping into your main character's deepest insecurities and fears and worries. We will elaborate on this in a later point. What if your intention is to establish the villain? In that case, lots of bitter, cruel dialogue will make it clear to the reader that, hey, watch out for this guy, they're an asshole. The intention of the scene will dictate the kind of dialogue you dish out, and you need to make sure that the argument you're writing serves its purpose. On a similar note, number 4, how does it end? If you're establishing the intention of the scene, you also need to establish where the scene is headed. How is this argument going to move the characters and the plot forward? Sometimes an argument instigates a breakup. This is especially relevant in romance novels as well as romantic subplots. Sometimes arguments are stepping stones toward betrayal, murder, or the climax of your novel. Every scene within your story needs to serve a purpose to the plot, and bitchy dialogue is no different. Knowing where the scene is headed is super important because it will dictate how severe the dialogue needs to be. For example, if your characters are breaking up and you intend for them to get back together, then the dialogue needs to warrant a breakup, but still be forgivable so that readers are still rooting for the ship. Think about fighting words that are harsh enough for them to take a break from one another, but not too harsh to prevent a reconciliation. Which brings us to number 5. How bad are we aiming for? Not all angry dialogue is supposed to evoke rage. Sometimes you want the words to cut deep, sometimes you just want readers to go, damn, that was good. It sounds like common sense, but so many writers do not know where to set the bar. They'll either go way over the top at the wrong moment or barely scratch the surface when it counts. Know the depth of your character's anger and stick to it. Say this is a life or death situation. Someone nearly died and they are pissed the fuck off. This is gravely serious, so calling someone a turkey head isn't gonna cut it. That's what you call your kid after they forget to take out the trash. On the other hand, say your characters are simply auditioning for the same part in the school play. If one tells the other to eat shit and die, that's a little extreme. Look at the scene and be honest with yourself. Hold back when it calls for it, and go all in when shit gets dire. Number 6, hit the characters where it hurts. You've gone through step number 5 and you've decided this argument needs to be intense. Your character is going for the jugular. In order to do this, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. First, look at the character on the receiving end. What is their greatest insecurity or fear? In The Savior's Champion, Tobias prides himself on his integrity, and he begins to question that element of himself. So if you really want to cut deep, you would probably call out his morality or humanity. Second, look at the character delivering the blow. What is their greatest insecurity or fear? Flynn is a character with a fragile ego, so for him, emasculation is the biggest blow. This means that if Flynn and Tobias were in a heated argument, Flynn would likely insult Tobias's masculinity. It's a big blow to him, so he assumes it'll be a big blow to Tobias. However, as we already covered, that probably wouldn't matter much to Tobias. That means if we wanted Flynn to hit Tobias where it hurt, he would have to insult Tobias's integrity. That would be a crushing blow. Number 7, keep it brief. Not all fights end quickly, but I guarantee that if you go on for pages and pages, you will lose the reader. The best blows are quick and to the point. That's why the phrase is, go to hell, and not, be gone to the darkest layers of the fierce and maddening underworld. A lot of newbies find long, rambly rants fun and cathartic. They think readers are gonna eat them up, but they usually come off as cheesy and self-indulgent. Plus, they're not that realistic. People don't regularly go off on long diatribes. They usually stick with a good old fuck you. Plus, these long rants lack impact. What hurts more, a single heavy blow to the gut or a bunch of teeny tiny pokes in rapid succession? Go for the blow and learn when to shut the fuck up. On a related note, number 8, calm down on the descriptors. You good for nothing, yellow-bellied, pea-brained mama's boy. You soft, fragile, sissy, blubbering mess of a princess. This shit doesn't work. No one is hurt by a laundry list of adjectives. Writers go this route because they think the more descriptors, the bigger the impact. And descriptors do help, to a point. When you go on, it doesn't make the burn harsher, it just makes it cheesier and a little embarrassing. A general rule is to choose one effective descriptor, maybe two, and leave it at that. For example, you dumb fuck, or you miserable, worthless shit. Those statements pack power, they sound angry, but if you extend it on, it loses its oomph. Number 9. Curse. I'm gonna preface this with the fact that not all people curse. I mean, I've never said a swear word in my life. It's just not classy at all. If you have a character who would absolutely never swear in any situation, by all means, honor that trait. You also have to take your target audience into consideration. If you're writing a children's book or a middle grade book, maybe don't use cuss words. But for a majority of adult, new adult, and young adult fiction, it's realistic for people to swear from time to time, especially if they're pissed off. No one is gonna say fudge when they're battling their lifelong nemesis. But Jenna, what if my mom reads this book? She knows swear words exist, I promise. Also, you're not writing this book for your mom. You're writing it for your audience. Sorry, Mom. Cursing is realistic, especially in anger. Utilize it where it fits. And number 10, punch down with caution. This is by far the trickiest part about writing anger and cruelty, particularly if you're writing a villain. One of the easiest ways to showcase an evil character is for them to punch down. This is basically when someone in a more powerful position insults a character that is in a more repressed position. For example, if a rich person makes fun of someone for being poor, that is considered punching down. As I said, this is a very easy way to establish a villain or showcase that a character is an asshole. However, it gets messy when writers take it too far, especially if they're writing insults about a group of people they do not belong to. Sure, the character is the one saying these things, but you, the writer, are writing them. And if you get excessive, it can come across as gratuitous and self-indulgent. A few words of advice. First, never write slurs about a real-world group of people that you do not belong to. Readers are going to be uncomfortable and rightfully pissed. Second, ask yourself if the punching down is necessary. Can you create conflict in a different way? For example, does your character have to say something racist, or can they instead say something classist, which is still terrible and still considered punching down, but it's going to make your readers less uncomfortable? And third, have you created a completely fictional world? If yes, you can create your own unique hierarchies. You can create your own version of punching down that does not alienate or offend your readers. If elves are more powerful than pixies, you can create a ton of really powerful insults that will absolutely showcase how awful your characters are. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, I am a big fan. I am a student there as well as a teacher. If you're interested in growing your craft or taking any of my amazing classes, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description below will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. That is a free trial, so you could take my classes for free. Click the link. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell. The Save Your Sister is available in audiobook right now, and if you're new to Audible, you can listen to it for free, so definitely check it out. I mean, it was a #1 bestseller for a reason. The link is in the description below. And be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, BookBub, and of course, you can tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!
Hello, Dove. It's me, Cosima. Do me a favor, subscribe to Jenna's channel and ring the bell. I would be ever so grateful. Go on and subscribe. I'll be waiting for you once you've finished.